Hello, I'm Theodore Parker, and this is the Side Show. Today is Friday, July 15th, 2022. The temperature around here is about 73 degrees, feels like 73, going up to 88. Sunshine is already out, bright. We've already talked about the mask, advising you to check your positivity rate, and if it is above 5%, to use the mask if you are going out around other people. Monkeypox, we talked about that already. Last count was 34 states where monkeypox has been reported. And so, it's Friday, end of the week, middle of July. First up in the news, condolences to Donald Trump and his family. His first wife, Ivana, at age 73, was found dead in her Manhattan home, apparently from a fall down the stairs. Police are double checking that. She is the mother to his three oldest children, Donald Jr., 44, Ivanka, 40, and Eric, 38. So again, in the midst of all of Trump's troubles and investigations, condolences. Another item, Sri Lanka. This was kind of different to me because the people there have been suffering really bad economy and living conditions. So they took it upon themselves in the middle of their protests and everything. The president took off from the country to go somewhere else in the middle of all this, but the remaining top officials, amid protest by the people, were physically removed from office and physically removed from their homes, which to me was a little bit different from how things usually go. So now they're looking at a new head of government in Sri Lanka. Speaking of the Ukraine and Russia, in this latest rounds of missile attacks, 23 people were confirmed dead in the Ukrainian city of Vinnytsia. UN and other countries affiliated with them are increasing their military preparedness and also sending troops, at least 100, related to their missile defense and air defense, letting Russia know that it would not just be a walkthrough if things escalate outside of the Ukraine. Hostage of diplomacy. Potential Brittany Griner prisoner swap with Russia is promising and dangerous. Some new information that's come out in regards to Brittany Griner is that the cannabis oil that she was discovered with or found with, according to her lawyers in preparing her defense, and yesterday was 14th, so she was supposed to go back to court again, was prescribed for medicinal reasons to help control pain back in 2020. Whether or not that will make a difference in what goes on in her court case remains to be seen, because Russia has like a 1% rate of acquittal. So they always tell people that they will just not do anything in regards to charges except render a sentence. So that's the case here with Brittany Griner, facing up to 10 years for drug possession in Russia, which does not allow any drugs. President Biden was in Israel discussing things with them and is on his way to Saudi Arabia. in reference to talks for producing more oil. In the meantime, Saudi Arabia has cleared airspace for flights from, I guess, several different places, including Israel, which previously had not been allowed. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, President Biden is going to meet with King Salman bin Abdulaziz and his son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And he'll meet with other leaders in the Persian Gulf on Saturday. And since their names are in this article, this takes a moment to review something that has happened. This same Crown Prince, his name is involved with the murder of the journalist Khashoggi. I think I reported on it at the time that it happened. I'm pretty sure I did, because as a journalist, Khashoggi had spoken about the royal family and the Crown Prince in particular in regards to how he was doing things in Saudi Arabia. So this upset the Crown Prince to the point where he kind of like banned Khashoggi, but then invited him to a meeting. And it's really tragic because while at the meeting, he murdered Khashoggi, dismembered his body, and as far as I know at this point, his body has not been recovered. So you can't get to the Crown Prince unless you go through the king. And the king is not speaking on it. So Biden is there to talk about oil. Social media again, leave my daughter and wife alone. Charles Barkley's alleged affair with Madonna led to mother-in-law's heart attack. Now, when I saw this, I was like, okay. But this was 1989, or when Charles had went to Phoenix to play and the finals were going on. And how the names even got hooked together was because apparently Charles' wife and his daughter liked to play Madonna's music on the radio or listen to it. So one thing led to another, and before you have it, phone calls are going on to the home. The mother-in-law felt overwhelmed, suffered a heart attack, and there we have it. But after 33 years of marriage, apparently, Charles and his wife, a former model, and back in the day, she was worth up to $1 million herself, has successfully negotiated all these things and continue to be husband and wife. Other articles that were in the news this morning were mostly social media comments. I would use the word gossip, but that's a back in the day term. But be that as it may, back and forth with this, about that, and the other in celebrity entertainment. But here's one that kind of put the cap on it. And the headline read, "Inside Island where lighthouse keeper driven mad and then raped and executed neighbors." Right away, I took a pause because I had to kind of prepare myself for this one. But here we go. 600 miles off the west coast of Mexico is an island owned by France. A 2.3 square mile island, which was discovered by 18th century English pirate who fought in the War of Spanish Succession. In 1856, the U.S. had claimed it under the Guano Islands Act. The British, in 1906, set up a Pacific Island Company settlement in conjunction with Mexico, which resulted in the building of a lighthouse, a railway, and barracks. Operations were overseen by a Mexican captain, first and only governor of the island, who drowned in 1917 while on a raft trying to reach a passing ship. Britain pulled out in 1908, being bankrupt, and by 1914 there were at least 100 people living on the island, including women and children. Due to the Mexican Revolution, supplies were cut off to the island. The man assigned to keeping the lighthouse going eventually declared himself as king of the island. And since there were basically women and children, proceeded to rape and execute and kill those women until there were only 3 women and 8 children left. So his favorite victim killed him. Now that's a story. But here's the thing. What made the island of interest in the first place? 600 miles off the west coast of Mexico. Well, the island is full of bat and bird poop. Bat and bird poop was used as a fertilizer. So that made the island have some value, 2.3 square miles with all that history. Just goes to show you, sometimes, what is that phrase? Another man's junk is another man's treasure, or something like that. Anyway, it's Friday. If you have any plans, hope you enjoyed them. And it's the weekend. Might even say TGIF. That's it. Hashtag.